The only request I had was no hooting, and now I've got the hooting folks up there. Well, it's one thing to stand up here and watch other people be inducted, and it's another thing when it happens to you. You guys know that I can't do anything without a PowerPoint. I don't know anything original or new. Everything I got is old or stolen or both. 3,500 years ago, Moses wrote these words. We live our lives as a tale that is told, and the years of our life are 70. And if by reason of strength they be 80 years, well, soon we are cut off and we fly away. So Moses' prayer to the Lord was that he would teach us to number our days, that we might apply our hearts unto wisdom. You know, truth never goes out of style. And the good Lord created 3 institutions, the family, the church, and government. Everybody in this room toils in government. The mayors, the trustees, the council people volunteer their times while working a full-time private sector job in most instances. And how would I like you to remember my little talk tonight? Whether we serve at home or at church or at work, we have one mission statement, and that is to glorify God and to grow His kingdom. And we do that best when we do it together. I've never done anything by myself. When I was little, before I learned how to read, my mom would set me on her lap on Saturday nights and read my Sunday school lesson to me and have me repeat it back to her. She did that so I'd be ready for the next day. My dad worked at the refinery out in West Texas where we lived. He worked shift work. He'd come home, get cleaned up. He'd drive over an hour to go to college. He had a little bit of help with the GI Bill, but he did that so my brother and I would have a better life. And both my folks were the first to go to college, and both of them put their professional degrees to work in their professional lives. You would know probably that I spent the second half of my childhood in Bartlesville. You see, I didn't grow up in Oklahoma, I grew up in Bartlesville. It's different. My dad served on the city council in Bartlesville when they voted to create the Bartlesville Civic Center. And on city council nights, they would broadcast the city council meetings on 1400 AM KWON. And I'd go to my room and turn the stereo on. And probably I was the only 13-year-old tuning in. Think young Shelton, how about that? Jim Clingingpill was my scoutmaster, and he was very faithful. Every Monday we had our troop meetings 1 weekend a month, snow or rain or sleet or shine. We would go on our camp out, and 1 week a month he would take us to Camp Cherokee on Grand Lake and spend a week of his vacation every summer to sleep in a hot tent with the other scoutmasters and the boys. And Jim was a very wise man. He never did anything for us. The only thing he ever did was create the environment in which the boys who wanted to succeed could. Jim Clingingpill played a big role in my life. You know, Moses' prayer was that we would number our days so we would apply our hearts unto wisdom. This morning, you guys know that wisdom is the exercise of influence, not authority. You see this granddad here. He's got a fishing pole as a prop and a granddaughter in whom he's going to write his story on her heart. He's going to put the love and wisdom into her, and that's a duty and a calling and a privilege that all of us have with the ones who'll come after us. Our mission statement is to glorify God and to grow His kingdom, and we do that through the stories we write, through the lives that we lead.
Thank you for being here this evening. I have a certain amount of trepidation speaking before local government officials. No one accomplishes anything significant in life by themselves. They're always shaped by someone else that has mentored them or given them advice. Two of my closest friends and mentors and advisors are Harold Pumperd and John Woods, who have accompanied me in this career. And Gerald Wilkins was one of the persons who touched me. I think the answer is quite simple to the question, and that is local government is where the action is. We are attracted to local government like a gypsy moth to the flame. It's the only place in our lives probably where we see the impact of what we labor for in seeing the people's lives in our community get better and more enjoyable. There was a young Frenchman, 20-some years of age, that traveled across the United States in the 1820s, and he wrote a classic when he was through. It's called Democracy in America. And he writes about local government. He writes about town government. And let me quote what he says. The strength of a free nation resides in towns. He said, towns are to freedom what primary schools are to education. Let me read that again. Towns are to freedom what primary schools are to education.
I have a speech somewhere in here. I hope someone else doesn't use it. I brought extra. They haven't started my time yet. I kind of got confused when I got the email, which shocked me. And I thought Deborah said 30 minutes. She said 3 minutes. So I've never spoke 3 minutes in my life. It says, I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame Selection Committee in this very humbling honor. Very rarely do I get surprised that I don't know what's going on. Well, I didn't see this one coming. And the title of my speech is, Don't Take It With You. Please don't take it with you. I feel like it's our responsibility to leave it for the generation behind us that's going to take our place. As mayors, as administrators, as clerks, treasurers, attorneys. I never go anywhere without my attorney. I don't even get to go to OSU football games without him. He sits right across the aisle. So, but that's okay. I've kept my job. So, I just want to say, get involved with those other people that are coming up behind you and mentor them, teach them. Because at some point, we have way too many people that just get to retirement age and walk away, and we don't hear from them anymore. And that's thousands of years of experience in a changing environment that we need to keep a hold of.
It's been a privilege of mine to stand on this stage for the majority of the Hall of Fame inductions. And it's been a privilege to be a part of the Hall of Fame Foundation for many years. I've heard a lot of induction speeches over those few years. I picked those two because I think the very best induction speech I ever heard was from Stephen Reel. And I think the very best exhortation I ever heard in an induction speech was from Mike Nunley. Stephen gave his speech 10 years ago, and Mike gave his 6 years ago. But how will you remember my speech? My little speech? Well, I hope you remember that Moses said our life is short, but our story goes on. You know, Moses wrote those words 3,500 years ago, and they still impact people today. The grandpa with the granddaughter going fishing, he's writing his story on her life so that one day she will write her story on her grandchild's life. And part of her story will be part of her grandfather's story. Life is short, but your story can go on. Your opportunity is unique. Remember, you're in the relationship business. The most enduring and important relationship decision you'll ever make is the one with your Creator, and the way He made an opportunity for you to have that through His Son, Jesus. It's an important decision. I hope you make the right one. Your opportunity is unique, and so is your story. Make the most of it. May God bless you, and may God bless our cities and towns. Thank you.